Hello gamers and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie and I'm the Beatless Gamer. So hi, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I'm having a pretty good day myself. So I promised you guys that I would build a base game only home to bring to you in a video. So here it is. This is Basegame Bradley. As you know, I name most of my homes. And most of the time I don't actually have like a story to go along with the name other than the house looks like a chorus, so we're gonna name it what it is. This is Basegame Bradley, and I have a friend named Bradley actually who I used to work with. I don't think he actually plays The Sims, but one thing that Brad's really into is like inclusivity and accessibility. So Bradley, this is for you. What is more accessible than a base game home? So that's what we're building. If you play The Sims, you can download this home if you like it, and if not, no hard feelings. But here it is. We're building it today. I wanted to give myself some restrictions for this build. So normally when I build, I don't give myself any restrictions. Whatever packs I have are like considered fair game to me. There's what is a budget. That is, we don't talk about budgets here. But today we have a budget and we are restricted with just the base game. But you don't need lots of like DLC or packs to make a nice little base game home. Anyways, this home without a lot comes out to be 19,894 simoleons. So basically like 1,909 or almost 20,000 simoleons. Just like 100 simoleons short of 20,000. So I was thinking that with this home you would have like 3 Sims, like 2 adult Sims and a child. Like I'm thinking maybe that this home would be good for like a young couple who like this is the first house they're purchasing. Maybe they like had a baby and the baby's like not a toddler anymore, and they want to like have a mortgage. They're really craving a mortgage and they want to get out of like rental life because we're all taught that renting is bad in North America typically. Anyway, maybe this is their very first like actual home, so it's smaller. It is a starter home, but that doesn't mean it has to be like poorly decorated. But yeah, this house is in Willow Creek, and it's not super expensive when it's all said and done. I'm really excited with how it turned out. The kids' room that we end up having is pretty small, and I guess the house overall is like kind of small, but it covers all of the bases. You even have a garbage can. I didn't forget it. I feel like I always forget the garbage can. Anyways, I thought this home would be great for 3 Sims. Normally, if you start a new game with just 1 Sim, you're given 20,000 simoleons, and for each additional Sim, you get like 2,000 extra simoleons, I think. So for a family of 3, you'd have 24,000 simoleons to start, if my math is correct, which means you can afford a lot with this house as well and have some money left over, which is pretty sweet. So I left some of my decision making in the video this time for you guys. Earlier on, you probably saw me trying to figure out how to like situate the kitchen, dining, and living area. Like we moved around a bunch of walls and it was a mess, but it turned out pretty cool. You'll see me do that with most of the rooms this time. I figured I would leave some of this in the video. It's a fun glimpse into a build, and I don't know, I think it's cool to just see how like a build comes together and see the changes that happen. Like right now we're changing the windows. These windows have a totally different look in comparison to what we originally have, but it just gives it a more like, I don't know, classic look. Although we do have these big windows in the like dining area and kitchen, but I just wanted some light in, and I think it looks good. Like it doesn't look out of place, you know? Anyways, enough about windows. Right now we're just trying to figure out what furniture to go with and like what colors we want that furniture to be. So when I build a house with a budget, I always try to place the furniture that we know we like absolutely need first. So like beds, a couch, stove, doors. Doors are really important. Like make sure you place those so your Sims can get around the house. So that's what we did in this build, or like tried to do anyway. In the kitchen, I gave them the Cooking U Pro for a stove instead of the Yum Cooker. The Yum Cooker always catches on fire for me. I don't know what it is, but it's like the second time my Sims use it, it's on fire. So I purposely avoid it. I also avoid adding flooring and wall colors for as long as I can. Floors aren't nearly as difficult to pick out in comparison to wall colors. I am so indecisive with wall colors. Oh, and rugs. Picking the perfect rug is a challenge, especially when we're limited to just the base game. I think my favorite rugs come from like Tiny Living and Eco Lifestyle, so we're using these round rugs from the base game, and they're okay, but I'm definitely missing those rugs from my other packs. And then we're adding some some cupboards, which aren't necessary, but I think we noticed we had the budget for it. Anyways, right now we're just adding some wall colors to the outside because picking exterior wall colors isn't as difficult as picking interiors, I guess. Or I just felt like we needed to move on from the inside for a minute. But we are getting a nice blue and white house. Very nice. And I put some stone wall coloring behind those windows. You can't really see it. So I was editing this and I was like, why did I do that? But that's what we did. Anyways, we're just adding a few little details on the exterior, like some grass above these front windows, an extra window on the ensuite. You'll see I raised the foundation, but we lower it back down so you don't need stairs to get up here because stairs are pricey. And then we move back inside to make some big decisions, wall and floor decisions. I love the tile we used here in the kitchen. It is retro. It's really fun. Sometimes I feel like I use it too often, but it's so good. I can't help it, guys. At first I tried to use these concrete floors, but it was a little too yellowy for me. The wall tiles just didn't match super well, so we switched it up and went with something a little bit more neutral, these tiles. And then we use a nice light wood flooring. With wood floors, I like to change the direction the wood is going where it makes sense. It just looks more realistic to me, so we do that in the entry, dining, and like living hallway area that you saw there. And then we move on to the washroom. After we color these walls, of course, but we move into the washroom. So I wanted to try and move the door so it's not like right in the entryway when you walk in. I don't know many houses where you like walk in and there's a bathroom, but I wanted to try and put the entry to the washroom in a bit of a more like thoughtful place. I don't know, like in the house, not right when you walk in. But where I have the window and stuff, the layout just doesn't really work. We do change the layout out a bit. So we end up with something like this, like like that. That's how it ends up. And we do get to move the door out of the corner. That's what I'm doing here. I moved the kids' bed over because I pet peeve is having Sims doors like tucked in corners. I don't like it. So I fixed it, even though I think I ended up moving it back into the corner later. We'll see. Do you have a pet peeve in The Sims at all? Doors in the corner is up there for me. We also changed the color of the shower in this washroom, which is inspired the white and lilac color scheme in here. So we have some stripes on the wall. This is a cheap way to like make a wall more interesting if you're on a budget. I tend to do it in bathrooms a lot, I've noticed. Anyway, we move back into the living room and we make some changes here. So like we change the rug. The coffee table is changed. The media table, the media table, that's changed as well. Everything gets a little bit darker looking. It's like a cozy, moody look in the end, I think. That adult chair gets tossed, and we also don't end up keeping that chair either. Essentially, we put one of this like kids sun bear chair. Basically, we're solidifying that a child 100% must be living in this house, or at least visiting. Because there's a special chair just for them. The sun bear chair is very cute to me, though. I mean, sun bears are just very cute in general to me, though. Then we move on to painting the house. I love the orangey wall that we used there. It brings, like, I don't know, a brightness to the home that I really am a fan of. And then we go with some deeper colors to make it feel more cozy in this main living space. The paintings that I used are fantastic. They're from Basegame. They're kind of stylish, honestly. I really like the way that they look, and they're not crazy expensive, which is cool. The ensuite here is not that exciting. I didn't want to change the shape of the house too much, so they just get a toilet and a sink, and maybe that can be like a future upgrade for them. They can like expand the house or like add an addition and give themselves a bigger bathroom, and maybe give their kid a little bit of a bigger room as well. I do try to move this room around a little bit. I try to add a desk in here for this poor child, and we very quickly realized that there's just not enough space to have a desk in here at all, so we end up putting a desk out in the main living area. But yeah, the desk in there was funny to me. It was a nice try, nice try, but that poor child has such a small room, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. They have a bed, they have a blarfy. Like, life is good when you have a blarfy. They also have a kid's chair in the living room, so like, what more could you want? I never use this wallpaper, but we used it today, and I don't know why I decided to do one like plain wall, but they got a plain wall, so that's cool too. I struggled with the wall color in the like master bedroom. It's hard to pick a color, you know? I wish we had more like plain wall colors in the game, like some that were a little bit more contemporary. Like, I feel like the pastels we have in the game aren't like ideal. Like, I don't know anyone with pastel walls this color, and if you do, that's okay. Like, you go, kid. I hope they look fantastic, but I wish we had some more like contemporary styles, you know? And then we're just adding some shelves. So I add some in the kitchen a little later on as well. But I don't necessarily like fill them or decorate them as much. Now, normally in most of my builds, I would try and like decorate the walls or like the shelves that I put on like in the house. But because this is a base game build and I put it on the gallery for people to download, I figured they might want to like customize some of that stuff themselves. So they get to. I leave a lot of the shelf space like more or less empty. I don't add any like decorations to the bookcase or anything. And right here you see that I went a little bit debug crazy. So this is how we kept it under budget, or like on budget, I guess. We use debug. Debug is fantastic. Some of these plants aren't from debug. I did pay for a few of them, but the majority are from debug. You can access debug by like Control-Shift-C and typing in bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects, and it opens up a whole extra catalog of stuff for you to use, which is super neat. Like landscaping that we don't actually have, like swatches of plants that we don't normally get. So I love debug. I don't mind using it for landscaping and stuff when I'm on a budget. I don't feel like it's like actually cheating, even though I'm adding a cheat code. Like landscaping doesn't make my Sims act better, or it doesn't improve the gameplay, I guess. Like it doesn't change anything that way. It just makes the lot look a little bit more finished. So I am pro using debug landscaping when we're on a budget, or even not when you're just building for fun. There's lots of fun stuff in debug. So give it a look if you haven't, and it's not cheating to use debug landscaping, in my opinion. But if you don't want to, that's okay. And I mean, aside from plants, there's other things in debug as well. Like, I like using wall art from debug. I did in this house. You'll see me add it later if I haven't already added it. And also little clutter objects like the remote. The remote is probably one of my favorite pieces of debug clutter. I put it on almost every coffee table that I add to a Sims build, but you know what I'm saying. The remote is really neat to add. Anyways, right now we're just adding some finishing little touches here and there, just cluttering things up a little bit. I think I try to put a plant on here, but I don't think I end up doing it. No, I don't. And then we add some of our debug wall art. There's a big picture behind the TV as well, adding some little rugs. We use some plungers from debug as well. Those are a nice little addition. Yeah, so right now we're just kind of like wrapping things up, putting it all together, tying it with a bow. I don't know. I think it looks really nice. It turned out really good for being a base game only build. I haven't built with only the base game in, I mean, quite a while, since I've downloaded packs, I guess. But yeah, no, this turned out better than I thought it would have, especially with like building on a budget. But for the rest of the video, we're just adding a few little details here and there. And with that, I think that's about it for me, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today and listening to me talk about life in The Sims. I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you did too. Stick around for screenshots if that's your thing and you want to see them. And if you want to download this, my name is TheBeatlessGamer on the gallery, or search #BeatlessGamer on the gallery. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And anything you'd like to comment, just comment down below. Subscribe if you feel up to that. I upload at least twice a week, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys!